Astilla, Astilla, Astilla. Oh, how I love this weapon, yet I hate how it was put together. You know how overly critical I can get, but I will say this. Astilla is one of my most favorite weapons in the game. The only issue with the weapon is its design choices for the weapon. I do see where DE was going with, having a select shotgun that pretty much loses its trajectory by distance so you don't snipe with it. Since shotguns are not meant to be used for sniping, it's supposed to be used for mid to close quarters combat. I understand the fall off, I understand the physics of it all, though my huge gripe for this weapon is that it still has the problem that all projectile weapons have: inaccuracy problems in close range. We all know when an enemy is too close to your face, projectiles act really weird in this game, as if there is a reversal cone effect in where the weapon should shoot. If any enemy is too close up to your face, depending on the position of the enemy, the projectile will at times go the opposite direction of where the enemies are standing. Projectile weapons that are meant for long range, I can understand why that would happen, since we as people would freak out at the moment and back off before shooting. While in game, it just seems like the weapon itself doesn't know where the projectile itself is meant to go. Just like a compass going crazy because there are magnets around you. I never understood why this happens. To be honest, it's a really weird design for a game to do that at all. It is the first game I've ever played that does this. Now, this is where the weapon has its interesting design choice, where the slugs lose its trajectory at certain distances. So not only do we players have to deal with the weird reversal cone effect with the projectile weapon, now we have an hourglass shape. Well, it's more like this, but you know what I mean. I love this weapon, I really do. It's just a shame that the weapon holds these annoying problems. I will show you the build I used in mod survival. I have the basic setup I have for what I use for almost all my shotguns, except for one that I find very interesting, which is this mod, Vicious Spread. I've tested around all the mods to see if I can try to fix this problem of the trajectory changing, but nothing really fixed it. So as a joke, I put Vicious Spread, just to see how ridiculous the spread would go. But instead, there was no spread increase at all. It kept its accuracy throughout every shot. So in other words, the damage increase is the only thing in effect. Of course, you could change the elemental mods around for this weapon, but because this weapon is primarily impact and puncture, I recommend keeping the corrosive element in the blaze mod on, since impact already creates a great CC against single target enemies, which is great against armor targets, especially since the status percentage is fairly high, having both impact and fire constantly putting enemies into submission, making this weapon one of the greatest BDSM weapons in this game.
Enemy AC-130 above!